So today we're going to be doing suture workshop, and we're going to start with how to hold the instrument. The key thing on holding the instrument is to make sure that you have your fourth finger through this first part of the handle on the lower side, and then the thumb goes on the upper part of the handle, and it does not go through the handle because that makes it very bulky to work with, but actually just rests alongside the edge of it. And the index finger is used to guide the tip of the needle driver as you're using it in order to provide better stability. So when loading the needle, load about 2/3 of the way back. And if you need to take a bigger bite, you can certainly go further back, but you're more likely to bend the needle if that's the case. So hold it, clamp it down about 2/3 of the way back to put in your first suture. When placing sutures, insert the needle about 2 to 3 millimeters from the margin of the wound, depending on the thickness of the skin. In this model, we'll go about 3 millimeters laterally. Insert vertically down into the skin, down to the base underneath the dermis, come across to the other side, and then come out at a similar width, about 3 millimeters to the margin of the skin. When grasping the other end, you'll just rotate it through so you get a nice clean rotation of the skin. So leave a short tail so you don't use up too much suture. You're going to wrap twice to create your surgeon's knot. Grasp the tail, and then rotate it through and bring it back. And you'll have to cross your hands in order to get a good lock. Once you throw in your first knot, the first time we went this direction, now we're going to reverse directions. Do one rotation, grasp the tip, cinch it down, then go back to the other original direction. And this is your 3 knots, and this will be a very stable knot for a nylon suture. So that's a simple interrupted stitch. We'll repeat it again so you can see it a little bit faster. Straight vertical, come across, come out the other side, grasp the needle, rotate it through. 2 wraps for the surgeon's knot. One wrap the other direction to lock it, and then forward again. And again, these are cut about 3 millimeters in length or so. So now we'll do a horizontal mattress stitch. This is started out similar to an interrupted. You go in vertically, come across the base of the dermis, out the other side. Now instead of tying the knot here, we're going to reverse the needle, go about 5-6 millimeters down the wound, depending on the size of the wound, perhaps even less if it's a small wound. Pass through the opposite direction. Now you've basically formed a U-shaped loop here with this knot. Double wrap for the surgeon's knot. So we can see this horizontal mattress now, pulling the skin edges up, kind of everting both edges, which provides for better closure and less scarring over time. The next stitch we're going to do is the vertical mattress stitch, and this is used for larger wounds that need to have higher tension or in areas that require more stability to provide some deep layer closure. So for this stitch, we actually go out about 6 millimeters or so from the edge of the skin layer, pass through underneath the dermis. And often you'll have to do this in 2 passes, especially with a smaller needle like this. So we'll do this first pass and then switch over to a second pass with the second needle. We'll switch over to a second pass. So you go down below the dermis, come across, and you're going to go wide again to this wound. Now, The second pass is superficial to this first one, so you're going to go in about 2 millimeters from the skin edge, come across, and come out approximately 2 millimeters as well. So we have 2 layers of sutures. The first pass again goes wide and deep and out wide, and then the second pass is in narrow, comes out narrow. Again, 2 throws for the surgeon's knot. You'll see this pulls together this wound. So that is a vertical mattress stitch. And to remove the stitch, that you just clip this area here, and that would actually release the stitch for removal.